The infected are here, but you don't know who you should be focusing on ranking up and in your typical battle formations. Well, my name is Anthony Joshua Plus, but you can call me AP for short, and welcome back to another Battle Nations video. Today, I'm going to be tier listing every single archetype unit from the infected line, and also showing how I would probably utilize this unit within a boss strike or just my day-to-day encounter dailies. The archetype creeper is just your basic infected zombie. It's literally nothing special, it's nothing crazy, and it's typically one of the units that if you do end up getting, you're going to be pretty disappointed in having it. So with my infected, I do have 6 of these guys. They're not great, and they have to be in the front line to actually attack. They do around 71 to 120-ish damage. But again, these guys are rank 1. They're not doing much, honestly. It's not a worthy unit to actually train, in my opinion. But for rank 1 archetypes, what we're going to be looking at is 73 damage. So that's the issue. They don't have armor. They're very squishy. They could die to basically anything. And you're just gonna get a lot of them anyways. You're not gonna be using these units in a boss strike or any. I mean, look at that. It's rank 1. I get it's rank 1. But for the archetype creeper, I am going to put this thing in D tier because it's not worth my time to actually rank up. Sure, I'm going to have a bunch of them from just the overall infection grind. No. The archetype hunter. Now, we can't actually get the archetype hunter currently with our units now in Battle Nations. We actually have to wait to at least the cheapest unit, that's the best unit as well, to infect is the Arctic Trooper. That's probably going to be the best unit to infect to actually get the archetype hunter if you are looking for it. But for now, we do have the advanced hunter. That's the best we can get as of right now. Now, when it comes to actual encounter fight, remember this unit is on the ground. So when it comes to the actual raiders, not all these guys can actually hit this thing, but it does have 3 attacks: the gremlin, the swoop, and predatory dive. That I think the gremlin might be its strongest attack. Honestly, I'm not very well versed with the hunter because I don't use it. That's the thing, guys. I just don't use it. But with that second attack, it can only actually attack air units. So really, you only have 2 attacks here. This last attack, though, wow, a little underwhelming. So when it comes down to actually tier listing this unit, I am going to have to give the advanced hunter C tier. It's not as bad as the creeper. It has a gimmick to it, but it's not insane like the other ones. The archetype shredder. This is where you infect your battle raptor and you get an archetype shredder. The archetype shredder is actually pretty decent, not gonna lie. I really enjoy this unit. The thing is, it doesn't really work out for me at level 46 with the current encounters that I do have. Now, sadly, with my luck with the infected grind, I only do have 1 archetype shredder. I do think the archetype shredder would be a lot better if you have multiple of them, at least like 2 or 3. But the one good side with the archetype shredder, having these 2 attacks, first of all, this swipe attack does attack the first 3 tiles in front of it, and then the other attack does a single tile. But let's go ahead and use this first attack. Again, okay damage. If you're a lower level, this is going to be a fantastic unit to actually use. But this is what I really enjoy with the archetype shredder, is I can go ahead and attack this brawler, and now I technically have no moves, but the cooldown on that second attack is actually fast as fuck. So I could just constantly actually just spam this thing. The archetype shredder is actually a really good unit, but for lower levels. I can see me getting this unit up to rank 3, which I did on an alt account, but using it now on my main at level 46 with all the encounters that I'd be taking out on a day-to-day, it's not worth it. So for tier listing the archetype shredder, I will put it in the B category. I think the B category is a really good middle ground for the infected units. This is a really good unit. The thing is, it does get outscaled later on by other units that I'd much rather just use instead. The Archetype Cannoneer. This guy is definitely a fun unit, and I am currently ranking this unit up right now. Currently, I think mine's like a rank 3, but it definitely does bring decent amount of damage. It's just a squishy unit. But when it comes to the actual cannoneers, This is typically somewhat of a setup that I would probably have. Maybe not the portable walls. I'd probably have other better units to actually use. But when it comes to actually using the cannoneers, go ahead and take out the armor trucks. 147. I do have rank 3 archetype cannoneers as well. These guys definitely do damage. 2 shots and that armor truck is gone. So I am ranking this up. I am looking to get this to R6. There are other units I'm looking to R6 first, but for now, I mean, 353 damage. When it comes to tier listing the cannoneer, honestly, I think I'm gonna have to put it in A. It is a strong unit. It's not a crazy unit. That's the thing. It's not a crazy unit. The Archetype Stalker. This guy, every time I face him, oh my God, absolutely sucks, because when he's in the front row, he just obliterates my UMGs. So when it comes to the Archetype Stalker, it does actually have 2 attacks. One attack where it can only attack in the very front row, and then the second attack is actually a backslash. So keeping him in the back is actually the best place for that attack. I think anywhere else, it actually doesn't reach most or even any of the units. It needs to be in the back. This thing, oh my God, I might rank it up actually. It does do damage. That's a nice damage. It's not bad at all. The thing is, it does have another counterpart that we're not going to be talking about in this video, which is the Apex Stalker. Now, a downside with this unit is it has no armor and it doesn't have a lot of HP. As you saw with this Stalker right here, it definitely took some damage, but can also still dish out that damage. So when it comes to the Archetype Stalker, I would probably put this in B tier. I do think the Shredder is a little bit better than, actually no, I think the Shredder is immensely better than the Stalker. Archetype Crawler. Now, when it comes to the Archetype Crawler, we can't actually get the Archetype Crawler just yet because we do need to wait for Arctic Troopers to come out and we can actually infect those units to possibly get our Archetype Crawler. So the Advanced Crawler was actually one of the last units I needed to complete my Archetype collection. Well, the best infected collection. And it does have 3 moves. It has Web Snare, whatever the fuck that word is, and Jump Attack. But I think the best attack here is the Jump Attack. If you look down here, 48 to 72, 3 times on a single tile. Also, you have to understand, it does have this first attack that also brings an 85 chance of stun. When looking at the Crawler, I would probably put this bad boy in the very back, if anything, because it's going to be doing a lot of the dirty work of just taking out single units. At level 46, doing some encounters, this is a rank 1 unit. It's doing damage. It's holding itself. The first attack, I mean, not a lot of damage, but stun, there you go. We do get a stun. And then the second attack, it's nice. When it comes to actually tier listing the Crawler, I do think I would have to actually give it an A tier, solely because even though, yes, it is advanced, if you can get this unit pretty early for yourself, it's going to be really nice, actually. The Archetype Bullfrog. The Archetype Bullfrog on the enemy team, I absolutely despise. It is literally my go-to number 1, gotta take out most of the time. It depends what other units are obviously in that encounter, but the Archetype Bullfrog is, it looks good, but in my opinion, it's not that good. When it comes to the Archetype Bullfrog, it does have 2 attacks that actually share the same amount of ammo type. It does have this very wide spread of attack, and I believe there actually is drop off from this middle, and it doesn't show that within the game. So looking at the second attack, I mean, it is a rank 1 Archetype Bullfrog. It's just not dishing out damage. It's also another unit that you have to grind with another unit. You can't solo grind this unit. See, in the very middle, it hits for 52, and then it drops off immensely off to the sides. When it comes to actually tier listing the Bullfrog, it is better than the Creeper, so I can't put it in D solely because it does have multiple attacks. It doesn't need to be in the front row, so I am going to be putting the Bullfrog in C tier, solely because it's just not strong. The Colossus. Now, the Colossus doesn't have an archetype unless you are the enemies, and the enemies do actually have an archetype and a different version. And there's also another version of the Colossus, which is the Apex Colossus, which is a boss strike unit. So sadly, we can't get those just yet. But when it comes to the Colossus, one of the biggest conversation topics here is the Colossus better than the Wimp? In my opinion, I don't think the Colossus is better than the Wimp, but the Colossus is pretty strong. It does actually have armor, and it actually has an attack that gives stun. It does mimic the same attacks as the Wimp, as you can see right here. Basically, it's literally the same thing. For these Colossus, I am ranking them up, and god, do I love these things. They are a fun unit to rank up. They do dish out damage. I just think the Wimps overall are just so much better, solely because you can mass produce them. You can just, you know, just spam them. That and the Colossus is only a 5% chance of actually getting this unit, so it is a bit of a grind. So when it comes to tier listing the Colossus, again, it's not as good as a Wimp because you can mass produce Wimps and they can come back very easily. When it comes to the Colossus, it does have armor and it does have the chance to actually stun. The only downfall for it is that you have to infect for it, as of right now being a 5% chance. But I am going to have to put the Colossus in the A tier. I think it is better than the cannoneer. I'd rather get a Colossus than a cannoneer in my opinion. Now you think the video is going to end here, but there is one more infected I do want to talk about because it is rightfully one of the best infected, hands down, and that is the Mauler. So when it comes to the Mauler, we do actually get 3 different attacks. We get Burrow, Poison Claw, and then this just a regular claw. When it comes to the Burrow Claw, this is insane. This hits a checkerboard pattern for basically the entire field for, at rank 6, by the way, 84 to 126 2 times. And don't forget about the armor piercing being 75%. Remember, we're allowed to place 4 infected onto the field, so you can have 4 of these guys and probably just go back to back to back to back to back to back, because you also have to realize it has other attacks as well, so you can really do a lot with this unit. Poison's Claw at rank 6 is doing 121 to 163, and it also gives Poison Dot. So starting at 142, dropping down to 71, offense being 71, crit 0, and then crits against critters and soldiers as well. For the first attack on the Mauler, it is a front row attack, and at rank 6, it does 102 to 153. So if you're choosing to have the Maulers in the front row, you could probably just spam this attack. Maybe two Maulers in the front row, 2 Maulers in the back. That seems pretty healthy to me. These units will have at rank 6, 720 HP. So again, no armor, so it is going to feel a bit squishy, but at the same time, these guys are going to be tanking shots, but also dealing it as well. These are a unit that I will be looking to mass produce for boss strike, solely because they're going to be fantastic during boss strike. You're going to be able to hit half of the board with their attacks. Now, granted, it just depends when we actually get these units and a level 53 cap for a boss strike. I do feel like we're probably going to get a boss strike before we even see past level 50. So yeah. But for ranking this unit, I will have to put it in S tier. So guys, that is my infected rating for all archetype or advanced versions as of currently right now in Battle Nations. If you want to see another video, please suggest it in the comments, subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!